here is a Sumerian tablet that actually shows the Tree of Life, flanked by divine beings.
What if an ancient Sumerian tablet contained a message so strange that people are still debating it nearly 150 years after it was discovered? According to a controversial story, a clay tablet found in Mesopotamia describes mysterious beings known as the Watchers, a hidden realm beyond the sky, and a warning tied to humanity's future. Whether you see it as mythology, misunderstood history, or something far more mysterious, the claims surrounding this tablet continue to spark curiosity and debate. Join us as we explore one of the most intriguing ancient mysteries ever linked to the Sumerian world: the Lost Tablet and the Sumerian Mystery. The story begins in 1876 when British archaeologist George Smith was studying ancient Mesopotamian ruins. Among the countless clay tablets recovered from the region was one that appeared different from the others. According to the story, its text contained unusual descriptions that went far beyond the typical records of trade, religion, or government found in most Sumerian writings. The tablet was reportedly written in dense cuneiform and described a view of the universe unlike anything most historians expected from an ancient civilization. Rather than presenting the sky as an endless expanse, the text described it as a structure with limits, a kind of vault separating humanity from something beyond. To understand why this claim attracted attention, it helps to understand the Sumerians themselves. The Sumerians are often considered one of the world's earliest civilizations. They lived in Mesopotamia, between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, and are credited with developing writing, advanced agriculture, mathematics, and some of the first cities in human history. What fascinates researchers is the amount of astronomical knowledge found in many Sumerian records. Ancient scribes carefully tracked the movement of celestial objects and created detailed calendars based on their observations. This knowledge was impressive for its time and helped shape later civilizations throughout the region. According to supporters of the tablet's interpretation, this particular text contained something even more remarkable. It allegedly described a layered universe consisting of Earth, a great vault above it, and another realm beyond that boundary. The tablet referred to this upper realm as the place of the Watchers. These beings were not described as ordinary gods. Instead, they were portrayed as observers who remained above while monitoring events below. According to the story, they had existed long before human civilization and watched humanity's progress from a fixed location. Whether this description was intended literally or symbolically remains one of the central questions surrounding the tablet. Many historians argue that ancient cultures frequently used symbolic language when describing the heavens. Others believe the tablet reflects an unusually detailed cosmological tradition that has been misunderstood over time. Either way, the mystery does not end there. In fact, this opening section raises even more questions than it answers. If the tablet truly describes a hidden realm beyond the sky and beings watching humanity from above, where did such ideas originate? Were they simply the product of ancient imagination, or do they reflect beliefs that have been misunderstood over time? As we move deeper into the story, the descriptions become even more detailed, leading directly to the mysterious figures known as the Watchers, and the role they were said to play in humanity's history. The Watchers above the vault. According to the translation, the most intriguing part of the tablet is its description of the Watchers themselves. The text claims that these beings occupied a specific place above the vault and continuously observed humanity. Unlike many mythological figures who regularly interacted with people, the Watchers were portrayed as distant and detached. They did not rule cities. They did not receive sacrifices. They simply watched. The tablet allegedly refers to them using a term commonly translated as those who observe or those who watch. In other Sumerian traditions, a distinction exists between the famous Anunnaki and another group of celestial beings. Supporters of the tablet's interpretation argue that the Watchers belong to this second category. According to the story, the Anunnaki were connected to events on Earth, while the Watchers remained above, monitoring humanity's development from afar. The text also contains references to measurements, locations, and coordinates that some researchers claim correspond to real astronomical positions. This is one of the most controversial aspects of the story. Supporters argue that the descriptions appear surprisingly precise for an ancient civilization. Skeptics counter that many of these interpretations rely on selective readings and modern assumptions being projected onto ancient symbols. As with many ancient mysteries, the evidence depends largely on interpretation. The tablet goes on to describe the Watchers in unusual terms. According to the text, they possessed shining appearances and eyes that never closed. Their voices were said to be felt rather than heard. Some descriptions sound almost supernatural, while others resemble symbolic language commonly found in religious literature. One particularly interesting claim is that the Watchers survived great disasters that affected humanity. The tablet allegedly states that they witnessed catastrophic floods and recorded the rise and fall of civilizations. Rather than participating directly, they observed and preserved knowledge about what occurred. This theme appears repeatedly throughout ancient mythology. Many cultures contain stories about divine beings who watch human affairs, record events, or judge civilizations over long periods of time. Whether the Watchers were intended as literal entities or symbolic representations of cosmic forces remains a matter of debate. What is clear is that the tablet portrays them as guardians of knowledge and observers of human history, and according to the story, their role was far from finished. What makes the Watchers especially fascinating is that they were not described as passive observers forever. According to some interpretations of the tablet, their watch had a purpose and an eventual conclusion. The text hints that they were monitoring humanity's progress toward a specific moment in time. Exactly what they were waiting for remains unclear, but that mystery sets the stage for the tablet's most controversial and unsettling claims, the warning hidden in the numbers. The final section of the tablet is where the story becomes even more unsettling. According to the translation, the Watchers were not simply observing humanity without purpose, they were conducting an assessment. The text repeatedly refers to counting, measuring, and recording information about human civilization. Supporters of the tablet's interpretation claim that one specific number appears throughout the inscription. They argue that this number represents a future population threshold that humanity would eventually reach. This claim has generated enormous debate because it suggests the tablet was referring to events far beyond the time in which it was written. Skeptics strongly challenge this interpretation, arguing that ancient numerical systems are often difficult to translate accurately and that modern readers may be finding patterns where none were originally intended. Even so, the idea remains one of the most discussed aspects of the story. According to the translation, once the counting is complete, a significant event is expected to occur. The tablet describes three developments: a darkening of the sky, a shaking of the foundations, and a descent. Exactly what these phrases mean is unknown. Some interpret them as symbolic references to social upheaval, environmental change, or spiritual transformation. Others believe they describe a literal future event. The text never fully explains what happens next. Instead, it leaves readers with a warning. According to the story, the Watchers will eventually move among humanity once their observation is complete. The damaged condition of the tablet makes it difficult to determine exactly what this means. Portions of the final section are fragmented, leaving key details open to interpretation. That uncertainty is one reason the mystery has endured for so long. The tablet seems to offer just enough information to provoke curiosity, while withholding enough details to prevent any definitive conclusion. As a result, the story has attracted believers, skeptics, historians, and mystery enthusiasts alike. Some view it as evidence of forgotten knowledge. Others see it as an example of how mythology evolves over time. Many consider it a fascinating blend of symbolism, astronomy, and ancient storytelling. Perhaps the most interesting aspect of the tablet is not the claim that mysterious beings are watching humanity. It is the reminder that ancient civilizations often understood the world in ways that modern people do not fully appreciate. Their stories reflected deep questions about existence, purpose, knowledge, and humanity's place in the universe. Thousands of years later, we are still asking many of those same questions. That may be the real reason the story continues to capture attention, not because it provides answers, but because it encourages us to wonder what we still do not know. What do you think? Was the tablet describing real beings, symbolic guardians, or simply an ancient myth that grew more mysterious over time? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more ancient mysteries and forgotten history. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.